When it comes to prostate health, most men think about it only when symptoms begin to interfere with daily life. But the truth is, there are habits we repeat every single day, often without a second thought, that quietly chip away at our well-being. I've seen countless men ignore these subtle red flags, assuming they're just part of getting older. Yet, small adjustments to daily routines can make a world of difference, not only in how we feel today, but in preventing bigger issues tomorrow. That's why today, I'm not just going to share 5 habits that silently worsen prostate symptoms. I'm also going to give you a bonus tip at the end, something most people have never heard of, that can naturally support prostate health when done correctly. I want you to pay close attention, because with anything related to health, details matter. The right amount, the proper preparation, even the timing can influence whether something helps you or works against you. Let's start by acknowledging the elephant in the room. Prostate discomfort can be frustrating. Frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom, a weak urine stream, or that constant feeling that you haven't emptied your bladder, these aren't just inconvenient. Over time, they can affect your sleep, your energy, even your confidence. And while there are medical treatments for severe cases, many men could reduce their symptoms simply by understanding the silent triggers in their everyday lives. One of those silent triggers often hides in plain sight. In fact, it's probably on your table every morning. Breakfast is considered the most important meal of the day, yet the typical American breakfast can be a minefield for prostate health. Imagine this. You start your day with a plate of crispy bacon, a sweetened cereal, and a steaming mug of strong coffee. Sounds harmless enough, right? But in that single meal, you've just combined 3 factors that can quietly worsen inflammation and irritate the urinary tract. Processed meats like bacon are high in sodium and saturated fats, both of which can contribute to low-grade inflammation in the body. Certain cereals are loaded with added sugars, which not only spike your blood sugar, but can also feed inflammatory processes. And coffee, while fine in moderation, contains caffeine, which can increase urinary urgency and frequency in men with sensitive prostates. The issue isn't that these foods are forbidden. The problem is overconsumption and lack of balance. If your breakfast is dominated by processed meats, sugary grains, and high doses of caffeine, your prostate might be dealing with more irritation than you realize. Swapping out some of these items for whole grains, fresh fruit, or lean protein sources like eggs or plant-based options can reduce this burden significantly. Even switching from that 3rd cup of coffee to herbal tea in the late morning can make a difference. What's truly surprising is how quickly the body responds when inflammation triggers are reduced. Men often notice improvements in urinary comfort within a few weeks of making these changes. The key is consistency, small daily choices that accumulate into lasting benefits. Now, here's the real takeaway. The first habit you need to rethink is not about giving up breakfast. It's about redefining it. Focus on nutrient-dense, minimally processed foods in the morning, and your prostate will thank you. And remember, the bonus tip I'll share at the end could amplify these benefits even further. The next habit we'll talk about is one of the most misunderstood. It hides behind the image of healthy hydration, but it could be setting your prostate up for more irritation than you ever imagined. Ignore it, and you might not only slow your progress, you could unintentionally make things worse. Many people believe they are doing the right thing for their health simply by drinking more fluids throughout the day. After all, hydration is essential for every cell in the body, and water plays a vital role in supporting kidney function, flushing toxins, and keeping the urinary system running smoothly. But here's where it gets tricky. Not all drinks are created equal, and certain beverages, despite their healthy reputation, can be surprisingly harsh on the prostate. This is where many men fall into an invisible trap. You've probably seen commercials promoting sports drinks as the perfect way to rehydrate after exercise. Or maybe you've swapped regular soda for diet versions, thinking you're making a healthier choice. You might even believe that fruit juice is always beneficial because it's natural. Yet, for someone with sensitive prostate health, these choices can backfire in ways you might not expect. Take diet sodas, for example. While they eliminate sugar, they often contain artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose. These substances can irritate the bladder in certain individuals, increasing urinary urgency and frequency. It's not just theory. Many men notice a direct correlation between drinking artificially sweetened beverages and experiencing more discomfort. The problem is that because the effect isn't immediate for everyone, it's easy to overlook. Then there are energy drinks. They're marketed as quick pick-me-ups, perfect for combating fatigue. But the high caffeine content, combined with stimulants like guarana or taurine, can overstimulate the urinary system. The result? More trips to the bathroom, more nighttime interruptions, and in some cases, a lingering feeling of pelvic tension. For someone already dealing with prostate symptoms, that extra strain is the last thing the body needs. Even fruit juices deserve a second look. Yes, they contain vitamins and antioxidants, but most store-bought versions are highly processed, stripped of fiber, and packed with concentrated sugars. That sugar spike doesn't just challenge your pancreas, it can also promote inflammation in the body. And when inflammation levels rise, the prostate can feel the impact. And let's not forget about the hidden sodium content in many hydration beverages. Sports drinks, flavored waters, and even some sparkling waters contain enough sodium to subtly increase fluid retention and, in turn, put extra pressure on the urinary tract. While sodium itself isn't inherently bad, consistently consuming it in high amounts through drinks can add unnecessary strain to an already sensitive system. Now, I'm not suggesting you eliminate all of these beverages forever. The point is awareness and moderation. Start by tracking what you drink in a typical day. If you notice that your main sources of hydration are anything other than plain water or naturally caffeine-free herbal teas, it may be time to make adjustments. One of the simplest changes you can make is to increase your intake of pure water. Aim for small, steady sips throughout the day rather than large amounts all at once, which can overload the bladder. If you want flavor, infuse your water with fresh lemon, cucumber, or berries. These natural additions give you taste without the hidden irritants. Herbal teas like chamomile, rooibos, or ginger can also be excellent alternatives, offering both hydration and anti-inflammatory properties without overstimulating the urinary system. The most powerful part of this change is that it doesn't just help your prostate, it supports your whole body. Improved hydration with the right fluids can boost your energy, support digestion, and even help regulate blood pressure. And because these benefits are cumulative, the longer you maintain these habits, the better you'll feel. It's fascinating how something as simple as choosing the right drink can influence such a complex organ. Yet, this is just one piece of the puzzle. The next habit we're going to discuss might surprise you even more, because it's often disguised as a healthy lifestyle choice. Overlook it, and you won't just see minimal progress. You might accidentally introduce stress to your body in ways that undo the benefits of everything you've worked on so far. There's a common belief that as long as you're active, you're doing everything right for your health. Movement is essential, yes, but the type of activity you choose can make a huge difference, especially when it comes to prostate comfort. This is where many men, often with the best intentions, unknowingly create stress for their own bodies. I've met men who run 5 miles every morning, proud of their discipline and endurance. They see it as proof of vitality, a shield against aging. But when they begin to experience urinary urgency, pelvic discomfort, or a persistent heaviness in the lower abdomen, they rarely connect it to their exercise routine. Yet for some, that connection is very real. High-impact exercises, particularly long-distance running or cycling on hard seats, can place repeated pressure on the pelvic floor and surrounding tissues. Over time, that micropressure can irritate the area and make existing prostate symptoms worse. It's not an overnight effect, it's a gradual accumulation. The longer it goes unnoticed, the more it chips away at comfort and recovery. Cycling, for example, is excellent for cardiovascular fitness. But without the right seat design or posture adjustments, the pressure on the perineum, the area between the genitals and the anus, can restrict blood flow and irritate nerves connected to the prostate. For someone with no symptoms, this might go unnoticed. But for those already dealing with sensitivity or inflammation, it can be the hidden factor preventing improvement. The good news is, you don't need to give up the activities you love. You simply need to adapt them. If running is your passion, alternate it with lower impact exercises such as swimming, brisk walking, or using an elliptical machine. If cycling is your preferred workout, consider investing in a seat designed to reduce perineal pressure and adjusting the handlebar height to improve posture. One of the most powerful things you can do for your prostate is incorporate gentle pelvic floor stretches into your routine. Movements like deep squats, hip openers, and yoga poses such as the child's pose can relieve tension in the pelvic area. They don't just help reduce discomfort, they can also improve circulation, which supports healing and overall function. Another overlooked factor is recovery. Some men push themselves hard every day without giving their bodies the rest needed to repair and restore balance. Overtraining can increase overall inflammation levels in the body, which in turn can keep prostate irritation lingering. By scheduling rest days or lighter activity days, you give your body a chance to rebound and strengthen without added strain. The key lesson here is that not all movement is equal, and more isn't always better. By balancing high and low impact activities, paying attention to posture, and making time for recovery, you can continue to enjoy an active lifestyle without compromising your prostate health. Small, intentional changes in how you exercise can have a profound impact, not just in reducing symptoms, but in boosting your energy, mood, and long-term mobility. That's a win worth working toward. The next habit we'll explore is deceptively simple, yet it has one of the most profound effects on both your progress and your comfort. Ignoring it won't just slow down your results, it can set you back in ways that affect more than just your prostate. Sometimes, the greatest harm comes not from what we do, but from what we fail to do. In today's fast-paced world, hours can slip by without us realizing how much time we've spent sitting. Whether it's at the office, behind the wheel, or on the couch watching television, prolonged sitting has become an unnoticed part of modern life, and it's quietly taking a toll on prostate health. When you sit for extended periods, especially without standing or stretching, blood flow to the pelvic area slows. This stagnation can contribute to swelling, discomfort, and a general feeling of heaviness in the lower body. Over time, reduced circulation can also impair the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to tissues that need them for repair and maintenance. The problem is compounded by posture. Many men sit with a slight forward lean, putting additional pressure on the perineum and lower abdomen. This creates a subtle but constant stress on the area, which can aggravate existing symptoms. Add to that the common habit of crossing legs or slouching, and the strain becomes even more pronounced. What makes this habit especially sneaky is that it feels harmless. Sitting doesn't cause immediate discomfort for everyone, so it's easy to ignore the connection. But for men already experiencing urinary frequency, pelvic tension, or inflammation, long periods of sitting can make improvement harder to achieve. The solution isn't complicated, but it does require consistency. One simple strategy is to set a timer that reminds you to stand up and move every 30 to 45 minutes. Even a quick 2-minute walk around the room, combined with some gentle stretching, can reset circulation and relieve pelvic pressure. Incorporating active breaks into your day can be surprisingly effective. This might mean taking phone calls while standing, walking during short meetings, or using a standing desk for part of your workday. These changes might seem small, but when repeated consistently, they create a measurable difference in how your body feels and functions. Some men also benefit from specific pelvic mobility exercises during these breaks. Gentle hip circles, standing side bends, or forward folds can loosen the lower back and hips, easing pressure on the pelvic floor. Over time, these micro-movements help restore better blood flow and reduce stiffness. Lifestyle tweaks outside of work hours matter too. If your evenings involve a lot of TV or computer time, break it up with short bursts of movement, perhaps during commercial breaks or between online tasks. This isn't just about the prostate. Regular movement supports cardiovascular health, joint mobility, and even mood stability. The real challenge isn't understanding why sitting too much is harmful. It's breaking the automatic habit of staying in one position for hours. By building movement into your day, you protect not just your prostate, but your overall vitality. The next habit we'll uncover is one that many people underestimate, but it's deeply tied to the foods we choose. Ignoring it won't just limit your progress, It can add layers of inflammation that affect your comfort, your energy, and your long-term health. Sometimes, the most damaging habits aren't dramatic or obvious. They're the quiet routines we barely notice. And one of the most underestimated threats to prostate comfort is the silent weight of a sedentary lifestyle. Even men who exercise regularly can fall into this trap if they spend the majority of their day sitting still. The problem isn't just about inactivity. It's about the hours your body spends in a position that reduces circulation to the pelvic area. When blood flow slows, tissues receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients, which makes it harder for the body to repair and maintain healthy function. For someone already managing prostate discomfort, this lack of movement can amplify symptoms in subtle but persistent ways. Many men think that hitting the gym for an hour is enough to counteract 8 to 10 hours of sitting. Unfortunately, the science tells a different story. Even with regular workouts, prolonged periods of sitting can create a buildup of pressure in the pelvic floor, leading to a feeling of heaviness or swelling that's hard to shake off. Another hidden issue is posture. Leaning forward at a desk, slouching into a couch, or crossing legs for extended periods can all increase compression in the lower abdomen and pelvic region. Over weeks and months, these micropressures accumulate, making it harder to find relief even with good nutrition and exercise. Breaking this cycle doesn't require massive lifestyle changes. It's about weaving movement into the fabric of your day. Standing up and stretching every 30 to 45 minutes, walking during phone calls, or simply shifting positions frequently can all make a difference. It's not the intensity of the movement that matters most. It's the consistency. Consider also integrating short bursts of targeted exercises to improve pelvic mobility and circulation. Gentle hip stretches, knee lifts, and back extensions can loosen tension and encourage better blood flow. Some men even find that sitting on a stability ball for short periods engages their core and reduces static pressure on the pelvic floor. The beauty of this approach is that it benefits more than just the prostate. Frequent movement throughout the day supports cardiovascular health, keeps joints flexible, and can even sharpen mental focus. You're not just protecting one part of your body, you're enhancing your overall vitality. What's important to remember is that sedentary doesn't mean lazy. Many hard-working active men still spend the majority of their waking hours seated without realizing the toll it takes. Awareness is the first step, and small adjustments can lead to big changes in how you feel day to day. The next habit we'll explore ties everything together. It's about the foods you choose, how you prepare them, and one natural method that can magnify your progress if done correctly. Overlooking it won't just slow your results. It could add a layer of inflammation that affects not only your prostate, but your overall energy and quality of life. Food has the power to heal, or to quietly inflame. And when it comes to prostate health, the types of proteins and fats you consume can make a profound difference in how you feel. This final habit is one that many people underestimate. Regularly consuming high amounts of red meat and full-fat dairy without balancing them with anti-inflammatory foods. Red meats, especially when processed or cooked at high temperatures, can introduce compounds that promote inflammation. Full-fat dairy products, while rich in calcium and other nutrients, can also be high in saturated fats, which may contribute to chronic inflammation in some individuals. The impact isn't always immediate, but over time, these choices can create a biological environment where prostate irritation is harder to resolve. The goal isn't to eliminate these foods entirely. They can be part of a healthy diet when enjoyed occasionally and prepared in certain ways. The key is moderation and preparation. Choosing leaner cuts of meat, trimming visible fat, and cooking at lower temperatures can reduce harmful byproducts. Swapping heavy cream for lighter dairy options or experimenting with plant-based alternatives can also help reduce the inflammatory load. Equally important is what you add to your plate. Vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts contain compounds that may support hormone balance and reduce inflammation. Fatty fish such as salmon or sardines provide omega-3 fatty acids, which are known for their anti-inflammatory properties. By pairing animal proteins with these foods, you help balance their effects and give your body the nutrients it needs to repair and thrive. Now, as promised, here's the bonus: A simple, natural addition that many overlook: a warm cup of pumpkin seed tea or green tea once a day. Pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, a mineral important for prostate function, and contain plant compounds that may help reduce urinary discomfort. Green tea offers antioxidants that combat oxidative stress, supporting overall cellular health. The key is preparation. Keep it mild, without excess sweeteners, and enjoy it consistently. This small ritual can be surprisingly powerful when combined with the other habits we've discussed. It's not a quick fix, but over weeks and months, many men notice improved comfort and a better sense of well-being. What I hope you take away from all of this is that your daily choices matter. Every adjustment, whether it's in what you eat, how you move, or how you rest, can add up to lasting improvements. Prostate health isn't about drastic measures. It's about steady, intentional care. If you found value in these insights, I encourage you to share them. Someone you know might be quietly struggling and could benefit from these simple, natural steps. Your support could help them take the first step toward feeling better. And as you make these changes yourself, remember, your health is an investment, and every good choice you make today will pay dividends in how you feel tomorrow.